Welcome back to my channel, everyone. I have a very special guest, one of my clients, Cassidy Cavan from Charlotte, North Carolina. Young guy, got into real estate 2.5 years ago, right, Cassidy?
Yes, 2.5 years ago.
And right out of high school.
Correct.
Okay. So I want to right away tell the clients why we ended up doing this interview so that they could get excited about all the stuff you're going to tell them, okay?
Okay.
So you've been in real estate for 2.5 years, and in the last 2 months,
Mhm.
you've taken 6 listings that were expired and for sale by owners, and that's something that you hadn't done prior to 2 months ago. Is that a correct statement?
Correct. I've not gotten those results or even reached out as much as the expires and for sale by owners prior to 2 months ago. Correct.
Okay. And 2.5 years in real estate. What were you doing last year? You weren't calling. I think you told me like you called a couple of FISBOs and expireds and you weren't getting really good results. Tell us why.
Yes. So a year ago, and up to 2 years ago, really, I've always circle prospected, and I still do circle prospect. I still get business that way.
Mhm.
However, I realized that the numbers I was looking to get, the numbers that I was calling, the amount of people I was calling was not giving me the results that I was expecting.
Mm,
Um, and then I wanted to dive more into for sale by owners and expireds
mm.
and figure. I know that that's the best. Those are the hottest leads. I know that's the best way to get business. It's just a skill thing. It's just something that you have to learn.
Right.
And once you do learn it, then it's unlimited business there.
Okay. So you learned it pretty quickly because you joined my training about 2 months ago, and right away you started taking listings, which I love hearing that. Some clients
Mm.
take a little bit longer because they don't even start making calls right away, which is another amazing thing about you is that you just love prospecting, right? You told me that.
I do. Oh, sorry about that. I do. I've always enjoyed prospecting,
Hmm.
and when I joined Sales X training, when I joined your training, I had the scripts were there,
Yeah.
the role plays were there, the practice was there, and it was just a matter of me implementing that into my business and on the phones and practicing it daily and hourly and keeping track of what actually am I doing to call this expired after he's been called 15 times today. How am I going to influence him to stay on the phone with me for just 10 more seconds?
Okay,
That
so
10,
talk
Mhm.
about that so the people watching can learn. Okay, so
Yeah.
tell
So
them how.
the biggest thing I've learned since I joined SalesX is the confidence and sounding persuasive enough to show them that you can give them value. So the very beginning of the phone call, you have to sound confident and stand out, and you have to deliver to them that you're the best agent for them and that is no other agent out there. And
Okay.
as you are talking to an expired or for sale by owner, you have to listen and like you always say, repeat and approve. So they actually feel like you're listening. And then once you do that, you go to the next line, the next script or whatever, and then you go for the close, go for the appointment, and pre-qualify them, and then make sure it's a pre-qualified listing appointment that you can go on.
And you're pointing to your wall because you have all the sales
Yes,
experts back there
yes, I
just for
have.
reference, right?
Yeah,
It's good to have them in front of you. So it sounds great theoretically. So
right.
what deliver the first line? So you have to sound very confident. Obviously, they're getting a lot of calls and you need to stand
Yeah.
out. So what does that sound like?
Yeah. So if it's an expired, hey, ring, ring, hey, Jackie, hey, this is Cassidy. Look, I noticed you had your home come off the market this morning. And the reason for my phone call is because I am confident that I can help you get this property sold. And I would like to show you exactly what it is that I do differently than other agents. Would 20 minutes work for you today? Would 3 o'clock or would 4 be better?
Amazing. I put you on the spot. I didn't tell you I was
Yeah, you did.
going to do that.
hopefully that was close enough.
It was great. It was close enough.
Yeah,
So it's so simple, right? And
it is.
the sales X, my expired script, that's the only line. There's nothing else, right? And this is something that you told me when we spoke prior to this interview, that you were using other scripts last year or whenever you were calling where you're asking
Right.
questions about where they're moving to and other stuff that was not really working out. Talk about
Correct.
this a little bit.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of scripts out there, and everyone that's watching this knows that
Yeah.
there's a lot of scripts out there. And as far as um, knowing, like, if you're calling somebody, sorry, somebody stepped in my room, so I got off track. If
That's
you're calling somebody, okay, if you're calling somebody and you're trying to ask for their motivation up front, they have no reason to answer that question. They have no reason to want to stay on the phone with you because the only thing they feel like they're doing is helping you answer your questions.
yeah,
So if you call and say, "Hey, I noticed your house came off the market. Where were you planning on moving to if it sold?" They don't care to answer that question.
right.
So you have to stand out and show value, and that's something that I learned really fast with the scripts and with the sales X.
So, Cassidy, did you have any resistance to my script because you came from using different scripts, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, it's just say this. I mean, did you even question, resist it, or you just started using them?
No, I just started using them, and then I was just like, "Let me."
You're like, what I was doing is not working, so let's give it a shot with something new, right?
Yeah,
Cassidy, talk to us about
yeah.
the
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I think you froze for a second, but you're back. Talk to us about for sale by owners, because that's something fairly new. You're getting success with that too. 6 listings in 2 months, just out of nowhere. Just like here, a new script, start calling and you
Yeah.
take listings. That's pretty amazing. So, what's the approach with for sale by owners? What are you doing?
So the approach with four step by owners. So my goal is to get one qualified listing appointment a day, and I don't always get the one qualified listing appointment a day. But with for sale by owners, they're a little trickier for me than expires and withdrawals. And
Hmm.
so it's something I'm still learning, but I'm learning quickly as far as what they want to hear.
Right.
That you're repeating and approving what they're saying, and it's making you have to sound like a financial benefit to them, right?
Yep.
If you sound like an expense, if you sound like you're going to sell the home for the same amount that they're going to sell it for, they have no reason to meet with you.
Right.
So if you ask them, I'm confident that I can sell your home and negotiate and net you more than what you could sell it on your own, is that something you would consider?
Right.
That was
Right.
way off the line, but it's
Yeah,
somewhere
no,
around.
it's close enough. It's close
Yeah,
enough. So what I hear you saying is you're still working on the actual presentation. Now, when you show up, how are you gonna? Because we have an entire presentation that I teach an entire.
yes,
So you're working on that, Cassidy. But even though you saying you're doing better with expires and withdrawals, you have listed FISBOs.
correct. I have.
Okay.
I have.
Okay.
I've listed two. Four has been expired and withdrawn, and then two FISBOs.
How?
And I actually got a new listing this morning
Yay!
before this call.
Really? My
Yeah.
goodness. So it's 7 in the last 2 months. What
Yes.
what was the one this morning?
Today it's just piece of land. It was a lot. It's a
Okay.
land, but they did lower the price, and I am confident that it would sell at that price because there are comps that support it.
Okay, so it's an expired that you list
Yes.
lower the price. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. And because you love prospecting, right? And so
Mhm.
many of the agents that are watching this, they're either new to real estate or they haven't really made any calls, and they're fearful, and they don't know what to expect, and fear of the unknown. I won't know what to say. What can you say to them from someone that just loves doing it, that will motivate and inspire them?
Um, I think for someone to be motivated, they have to motivate themselves, right? So me saying something right now is not going to motivate them tomorrow. So to me, I look at it as discipline, and I have that up on my wall as well. That I have to. I tell myself I have to have at least 40 conversations a day,
Wow,
and
that's an incredible goal. I didn't even know you 40. That's amazing.
mm,
Good for you.
right. So I try to do that. I go over as well sometimes, but I have to have 40, and I think if somebody wants to, get business cold calling, they have to understand that it's a prospecting game. You're gonna get, cussed out. There's gonna be people that say yes. There's gonna be people that say no. There's gonna be fake yeses that you'll hear that sound really good just to get you off the phone. There's a lot. It's just everywhere. And so I think the biggest thing to say is that you just have to do it. You have to practice, record yourself talking. Um, and listen back, get feedback from another agent that's successful in it,
Yes.
and just go from there.
Well, discipline, yeah, it's everything. How is there anything specifically you do to just like have fun with it? Like
Yeah.
to
So,
actually,
mhm,
okay, tell us.
yeah. So I'll turn on like music or a podcast or something, in the background. And while I'm prospecting, I enjoy that itself. I don't have to have anything else to distract me to have fun prospecting. I enjoy having conversations with people because I know in my head that whenever someone says hello, there's a slight chance that that's a new listing for me.
Yeah.
And so that right there just gives me the satisfaction itself.
Okay, so I have another question. This is such a common question. Even the clients in the SalesX platform, sometimes they ask that, but a lot of people on YouTube ask that. I'm new to real estate and or I'm young. I mean, can you tell us your age or I mean, he
Yes,
looks young, right?
I'm 22 years old,
All right. So
and mhm.
go ahead.
I was gonna say that I'm 22 years old, and I actually the listing I got, the second to last listing I got last week, she said, "Wow," she said, "You sound a lot older over the phone than
Okay.
in person." So I hear it all the time, "How old are you?"
Right.
In the business, and there's always a script around everything.
Okay,
So I just
because you actually you're right. You sound not older, but just yeah, like if I just hear you over the phone and I don't see you, I would think maybe you're, older.
yeah,
But when people say, "Well, you're so young," or "How long have you been in real estate?" and "What's your experience?" How do you respond to make them feel confident that you are the best agent for the job, no matter what age you are or how long you've been in the business?
yeah. So a lot of times when somebody asks me, "Hey, like, how old are you?" I'll say my age. I'll say I'm 22. And, I know I'm young, so I bring it out, to the table. I acknowledge that. I say, look, I understand I'm young, and a lot of times, typically when I hear that, the real reason why you're asking me is, how much experience do you have in real estate? And
Mm.
so I've been passionate myself in real estate for 10 years now. I knew this is what I wanted to do. And as soon as I got the opportunity to get my license, I've taken advantage of it since. And since then, I've sold homes. I'm very confident that I know what I'm doing. And I'm here to help you sell your home as well.
So yeah, wow, it's just you having the confidence in yourself. It almost doesn't matter what you say. And I would imagine too that you would hear the comment because you do look young that
Mhm.
how old are you or whatever. But when you show up and you present yourself confidently, and that comes through practice, yes,
Yes,
then people don't even question it because they're like, it's
exactly.
irrelevant how old you
Yeah,
are. It's just I like what you're saying. I believe you can
right.
sell my house, right?
Yes. And so that whole thing I said was sometimes I'll just say 22, right? But if I know it's like they're questioning it, like it's gonna get involved later on, then I'll say something. I'll call it out.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
just depends how the conversation goes.
So, how much practice do you do?
So from 8 to 11, I'm prospecting always,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
11 to 12, or sometimes 11 to 11:30, I'm following up. And after that, since the 2 months since I've been in SalesX, I've been doing the training videos as well for an hour a day. And then
Hmm.
on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you have the live call, which is very helpful with the role playing, giving more tips and things like that. So that's Tuesday to Thursday from 1 to 2. Um, Other than that, it's either back on the phones, or if I have an appointment, if I have something that I need to do as far as the busy work. But I hate the busy work. I want to leverage that off eventually,
Yeah.
and then just get back on the phones or back at more appointments. So practice I do. It's just at least an hour a day. The videos and and role playing the scripts.
Yep.
But a lot of practice is just doing the work itself.
Exactly. You're on the phone 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Do you ever make calls on Saturdays? Ever do a Saturday morning or any evenings?
So I'll do a Saturday morning maybe once a month, but
Uh,
not nothing crazy.
okay.
Nothing crazy.
Cool. Okay. Well, evening, I would say 5:30, 6 p.m. is a great time to redial those expireds and FISBOs that didn't answer the phone in the morning.
Yes, I actually didn't. I've been doing that as well lately, the past week or two. I've been redialing the expired and for sale by owners as well in the
Yeah.
evening. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Then,
So if I really like this wasn't scripted. I just knew that you had taken these 6 listings. I'm like, oh my gosh, this gets me so excited because people ask too, oh, if I do what you say, how long is it gonna take? I guess it depends because some people can take a few months to even take one listing and then look at you. What do
mm,
you think is the difference between someone who has immediate results like you and taking expireds and for sale winner listings and those that struggle, just so that for anybody that is struggling, they could say, wow, okay, if I do this, then I can have the results Cassidy has.
Jackie, I think the biggest thing is just believing in it. I think you have to
Mm,
believe in the scripts and you have to believe in yourself and you have to believe that even though these agents have had conversations all morning, they haven't had a conversation with you. So they don't know exactly what you do, exactly who you are, and how you can help them. And I think that's just the biggest thing that I can,
yeah.
say.
You know what? I agree with you because believing in yourself, believing in what you're doing. How do you convince somebody of something that you don't believe in? Oh, you
Correct.
should list with me because I'm the best agent for the job. When you've gotten calls from 50 agents, but I really don't believe that I'm the best agent, and I don't think you should.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work. It's illogical. You can't. I always say you can't convince somebody of something you don't believe in, and the belief is a mindset.
Correct. It
And I
is.
know, I know that for the people listening, it's like, yeah, but I don't believe that. What do I do? You have to reprogram your mind basically, because
You
when you
do.
have doubts and you have fear and you don't believe in yourself, it's just a habit of thinking negatively. And
Yes.
to reprogram that into some positive beliefs that are going to empower your career, you're going to have to I say bombard your brain with
Yes.
powerful, positive motivation, inspirational ideas. Surround yourself with
Yes.
people that are like-minded, that are successful, that are gonna keep you inspired, that motivate. It's just like who you surround
Correct.
with.
You
So
have you have to surround yourself with the right people, your mindset, and actually, I've been listening. I downloaded the I think it's pronounced the Kajabi app. I heard
yes,
that you use for the sales X. I download that app, and I've been listening to the training and the videos as well while I'm driving, or even if I'm on the way to a listing appointment. If it's a FISBO or expired, I'll re-listen to the expired or a FISBO appointment again, just to catch any little thing that I know can help me at the appointment.
absolutely. So when you knock on the door, you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready to
That's
go.
that's amazing. Hearing you say all this, Cassidy, reminds me that a lot of people, they want the success, they just don't want to do the work to actually have the results. And there are no shortcuts to any place worth going. You're doing the work, you're making the calls, you're practicing, you're doing all the right things, and that's why you're having amazing success at 22. Wow, you've chosen an amazing career.
Thank
I
you,
can't
Jack.
I can't wait to hear where you're at a year from now. So
Yeah.
keep up the great work so we could do this again.
Okay. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Cassidy. Thank you for your time. This was
All right.
great. Thanks for watching,
Yeah.
everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.